आप देख रहे हैं अवाम के उठाए गए सवालात, हालत हाज़रा पर तबसरों, तज्जियों, खबरों पर मुहित प्रोग्राम न्यूज़ लाइन रिदा सैफी के साथ।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूँ रिदा सैफी। नाज़रीन, आज का प्रोग्राम खुसूसी प्रोग्राम होगा एक और हमेशा से हमारे हम कहते हैं ना कि पाकिस्तान की जो दोस्ती है वो पहले तो मैं सबसे पहले दोस्ती की बात कर लूँ। हमेशा से जैसे कि हम कहते हैं कि दोस्ती जो है वो बहुत ही खूबसूरत रिश्ता है और दोस्ती ना हो ज़िंदगी में तो आपके जो अच्छे लम्हात हैं, जो अच्छी चीज़ें हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं मिस हो जाती हैं। जैसे कि हम आम तौर पे हम सब लोग अपने दोस्त बनाते हैं, उसी तरह से मुल्क की सतह पर भी आपके जो है वो दोस्त होते हैं। और ऐसा ही एक दोस्त हमारा जो कि देरीना दोस्त है, जिसकी पहाड़ियों से ऊंची समंदर की गहराइयों में जाके और हर लिहाज से कहा जाता है कि दोस्ती पक्की है। और उसी दोस्ती का रीसेंट शाखसाना भी हमने एक देखा है जब अमेरिकन डेमोक्रेसी समिट में पाकिस्तान ने जाने को मना किया। यकीनी तौर पे आप सब समझ गए होंगे कि मैं चाइना की बात कर रही हूँ। और आज भी हम एक खुसूसी प्रोग्राम के साथ आए हैं और हमेशा आप जानते हैं कि चाइनीज़ जो एम्बेसडर हों या कौंसल जनरल हों वो हमेशा से बहुत अच्छा पाकिस्तान में जब भी होते हैं फील करते हैं और हमेशा से बहुत ही अच्छा अपना प्रीशियस टाइम भी देते हैं। तो आज भी मेरे साथ जी चाइनीज़ कौंसल जनरल जो कराची में मौजूद हैं, आप उनके मुतादिद बार हमारे साथ प्रोग्राम मुख्तलिफ औकात में वक्तन फ़वक्तन देखते रहे हैं। आज भी हमने उनसे टाइम लिया है। आज भी हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं कौंसल जनरल ऑफ चाइना कराची के अंदर मिस्टर ली बेजान। लेट अस वेलकम हिम। Thank you so very much, Mr. Excellency, for giving us your precious time.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
So far now, your presence in Karachi in Pakistan, it's been quite long time now. So how do you feel? First of all, I wanted to know what you feel being here in Pakistan, in Karachi. How do you see the culture, the things? Because when you just charge your position, there was a pandemic and all those things, but now the things are getting settled up now, and things are getting in a in a in their back routine. So how do you see the culture of Karachi and Pakistan?
First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to say, hello to all you, and to express our warm greetings to you and salute you, to your families, and to our Arab brothers and sisters. You see, this is the end of the year. And the Christmas is coming and the New Year is coming. So we just want to extend our warm seasonal greetings to all you. And secondly, I want to take this opportunity to express our gratitude and thanks to the efforts that our Arab brothers and sisters has been contributed to further promote this bilateral relations in the past year. And you see that the pandemic has been with us nearly 2 years, and which disrupted the normal life and activities. But even so, our two countries has been helping each other, and we are facing these difficulties together, and fight together against this difficulty.
Exactly.
And after 1 year, and we really has a very wonderful results. And right now, you see the pandemic situation in China is under control, and here we are very pleased to see the situation that with the strong efforts by your federal and provincial governments, and you come up with a synergy and concerted efforts and strategy to control the pandemic. Now you see the confirmed cases is coming down on a daily basis.
Exactly.
And the whole society and economy is opening up. And I'm sorry that because of the pandemic, I could not go out very often. And I'm also very happy today that I can meet you and salute you and to say hello to all the audience. My stay here is almost 2 years. I enjoyed my stay here, and the friendship, the cooperation, and the especially that under the elective impact of the pandemic, and both country and both peoples are working together, and we strengthen our unity and solidarity to face the common difficulties. So, generally speaking, I've enjoyed my stay here, and I have been enjoying the culture.
How do you find the culture of Pakistan and everything?
Pakistan's culture is so diverse, and you have a long tradition and history, and I have been keeping watch because we could not go out, but we are keeping watching the TV's local programs, and we are really immersed in your rich and colorful cultures and different, diversified languages and customs. This is really, amazing, and your fine cultures and traditions are the foundations for the future development and the spirit of Pakistani people fighting with unity and solidarity. We should learn from each other. We have so many good things.
What about that love which we have given you? Actually, that is a secret thing as well. I must tell to my viewers that as the Excellency name has the Bijian, so we Pakistani called him in a Pakistani word Li Bhaijan, and that is the nickname which we have called to Mr. Excellency, and that is the love which we have given to him. How do you see this as
okay, that's accidentally. My name is given by my parents. I don't know why they gave me the name, but accidentally it could be read as Li Bhaijan. Bhaijan means brother in Urdu. So I'm very pleased to be brother for my Iron brothers and sisters, and living here and working here in my brother's home. So I feel at home, and I enjoy my stay here, and all my colleagues, they enjoyed our stay in Karachi. We want to thank the local government for providing us with all the amenities, all the facilities to enable us to carry out our duties. And without their help or their efforts, we couldn't do it. So we want to thank them in a big way.
Okay, moving forward, Excellency. Now there are some interesting questions which I'm going to ask you today. And the first thing which I would like to ask you this, that recently we have seen in the region, the development has come up. There are some incidents, or you can say the things which happened up, especially if we talk about Afghanistan, as you have seen that what had happened in the past few months in Afghanistan. How do you see the Pakistan's take on that whole incident and whole function, and how do you see it, especially that especially in the perspective of the region stability, peace and stability whole, as we are really much always concerned about the peace and stability of the region and our neighbors, and of course in the whole world. So how do you see the role of Pakistan, especially in that whole event which has been done in the past few months?
Okay, you see, Afghanistan being our common neighbor country of Pakistan and China, the stability and the peace of Afghanistan is very, very, very important to the interests of the whole neighborhood. And it's interesting that Afghanistan now is in a very important period of time of transition. Okay, and now we are happy to see that the turning over of the regime has basically bring the stability in Afghanistan, and the country has the situation is under control by the new arrangement of governance, and we're happy to see that. And you see, as I said, the peace and stability of Afghanistan is in the interest of all the liberal countries. That's why Chinese government has been trying hard from the very beginning to put forward and put together all the efforts and all the players to realize the peace and stability in Afghanistan. And in the whole process, that Pakistan has played a very important role in this regard.
Excellency, that the whole world has acknowledged our, of course, role which we have played, and we always try to bring in, keep the peace and stability in the region. And of course, China has also taken the initiative, as the peace talks have been delivered between the other countries and Afghanistan as well, and the initiative. But we see that these days that there is also a very real concern about Afghanistan, that there are the security and humanitarian crisis, and which people needs to be understand in the whole world. How do you see it, and what you say on it?
You see right now that Afghanistan is in a period of transition. Okay, and the war is over, and the whole country now is concentrated on the reconstruction process. But due to various factors and reasons, and this country now is facing a lot of economic and humanitarian difficulties.
Yes.
And I think that the neighboring countries know that, and in order to help the Afghanistan people to go over with this difficult period of time, and at the initiative by Pakistan, China, Russia, and some other countries, and we are trying hard to provide more assistance to Afghanistan, and it's really commendable that your government, a few weeks before that, your government announced that you will donate 50,000 metric tons of wheat to Afghanistan.
Yes.
And even yesterday, that I saw a report that your federal government will give some budget to help the Afghanistan, especially students, to come out of the difficulties, and to let the educational institutions went into function. So my country is also trying to help Afghanistan people, because we share the common, challenges, and their difficulty and the challenges is always in our heart, because we are neighboring countries who are friendly with each other from the history. So my government, just last week, we handed over the second batch of assistance products, goods to Afghanistan.
But this is these are the initiatives which we have taken, which you people are taking up, are as a shortcomings things. So in a long run, what you say to the world, that how they has to come forward and initiate the things for bringing the long-term policies, or to recognizing for the Afghanistan government and everything with them?
Yeah, you see, the stability and the peace of Afghanistan is not only the responsibility of the neighboring countries, but also it is the obligation of the whole international community, because the stable and peaceful Afghanistan serves the interest of the whole members of the international community.
Right.
So we should come up with a concerted and a synergy plan to help Afghanistan, to help Afghanistan people to come out of their difficulties. So
exactly.
we should working and push for that.
राइट गुफ्तगू का सिलसिला जारी है नाजरीन, और बहुत अच्छी गुफ्तगू हम कर रहे हैं आज एक्सेलेंसी से कौंसल जनरल ऑफ चाइना मिस्टर ली बिजान के साथ। लेकिन यहाँ एक छोटे से कमर्शियल ब्रेक की तरफ हमें जाना है, तो वी आर मूविंग फॉर अ शॉर्ट कमर्शियल ब्रेक। विल बी राइट बैक आफ्टर इट, स्टे ट्यून्ड। वेलकम बैक नाजरीन। आज बात कर रहे हैं हम, खुसूसी इंटरव्यू है आज का, और बात हो रही है कौंसल जनरल चाइना से मिस्टर ली बिजान के साथ, हम जो कि कराची में तैनात हैं, उनसे गुफ्तगू करेंगे। लेट अस मूव टुवर्ड्स हिम। सो एक्सेलेंसी, ओके, वी हैव टॉक अबाउट द अफगानिस्तान पोजीशन एंड यू हैव गिवन द स्टांस ऑफ चाइना एज वेल इनटू इट, एंड वी हैव सीन वी टुगेदरली डिड सो much to bring always the peace and stability, as I have said so far, far in the initial as well in this region. And of course, why not? Because this region is like our land, and we have to always in a search of it to bring the peace and talks and good things for it. On the other hand, as we have seen that Pakistan and China have like very good terms with each other since many years, from centuries in fact, and that is we see in the result of it, we have this beautiful and a brilliant project of CPAC, which we call that CPAC, China's Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is the talk of the town in everywhere, and everybody is talking about it in the whole world about the China-Pakistan's this friendship corridor program. So how do you see that China-Pak Avenue Corporation's aspect, and plus the projects which are actually going on under this head of the CPAC, so far how the progress of them people want to know, and in how much time do you see that the current ongoing projects will be completed, and how do you see the impact of it?
Oh, thank you. CPAC is really the pilot program of Belt and Road Initiative, started by my president, Xi Jinping, in 2013. And, through the past 2 years, because of the pandemic has, disrupted the supply chain and value chain as well. And CPAC projects also suffered negatively, and but I make it clear here that both the two governments of Pakistan and China are further committed to put forward the CPAC activities, despite of the pandemic, and through last year. And we may say that, at the beginning of the pandemic, there were some disruptions of the supply of equipment and, spare and parts. And also there was shortage of personnel. And all the projects, facing that difficulty. But with the concerted efforts by both sides, we eventually solved this problem. And all the projects, resumed work and reconstruction. And I must say that, with this concerted efforts, so far that all the projects under construction are going very well. And CPAC, as I mentioned in our last interview,
yes,
and CPAC allows in the second phase. For the first phase, most of the projects has completed, are serving the Pakistan people, and promote Pakistan economy in a very big way. And I just want to identify one area of energy. Energy is the most important and focusing area.
It is.
Focusing area of the first phase. And with the concerted efforts of both sides, and we help Pakistan constructed a number of power plants. And right now, these power plants all are in operation.
All right.
And just supply, continuously and just very strong power to your economy, to your people. And I always say that, when people are talking about CPAC, and we should first to see the achievements, the benefits, of CPAC has brought so far to Pakistan. And the power sector, that is obvious. And a few years back, there was blackouts every day, on daily basis, anywhere across this country. But right now, you see, that has just become, very, very, very just few such occurrence. Why? Because Pakistan has become a country from lacking of electricity, but now you are become a country with a surplus of electricity. Okay, so this is the achievement. I want to say this is number one, and number two, I want to tell my audience, that there are some people and some quarters and some forces, they are they are intentionally tarnish the CPEC projects, and they want to disrupt the cooperation between our two countries, and by beef upping some of those allegations against the CPEC. But I want to tell my Pakistani audience, the CPEC projects, from the very beginning, we have been put the people-centered initiatives, and through the implementation of the CPEC projects, a lot of employment has been generated. With our estimation, more than 200,000 employment has been created so far. And secondly, that the projects has been indirectly and directly benefit the local people, because the projects they have to buy the materials. Okay, they have to purchase sand, cement, steel, and some relevant equipment for the local market. So the local economy is benefiting in a huge way from CPEC. So we should look into this factor. And thirdly, I want to give this audience, this single, that CPEC is in the process. Is the process, and after phase 1 and now we are in phase 2.
Yes.
Phase 2 will be focusing on agriculture as well as manufacture, etc. And employment creation will be the main target. Okay, but as I mentioned, that CPEC is the process, is that dynamic process. Dynamic process.
Yeah.
It cannot be made overnight. The projects, the construction of all the various projects need time. Okay, so I think that the people, especially the local people, which are living nearby the CPEC projects, they should be very patient. They should be patient, and as I said, that right now the construction has been serving the interest of local people. But after the construction, after the completion of all these projects, when all these projects put into operation, that will benefit hugely, to the local people. And I think that I call upon the Pakistani brothers and sisters, be patient and give the constructors some more time. Okay, let them to complete these projects. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. And fourthly, and you see, as far as CPEC is concerned, and we should speak in one voice, because this is our common baby, our common project. It's not a Chinese project alone. It's the two-way projects.
Exactly.
Our two countries.
Yes.
And so we should speak in one voice, and we should stand together.
Yeah,
and
we should have to diffuse those propagandas which are coming along and bringing by the Western and especially the Indian media. And
in case there is any difficulty or challenges, that belongs both of us.
Exactly.
So we should stand together and to try to find the ways and the means to solve the issues. Okay, so that is the way out.
All right.
And, yeah.
Okay, moving forward, let's talk about something like, especially which I've discussed it. We have seen and we have come across, and in our last interview as well, I've asked this question as well, because this is something which I really want to know about our audience and to the viewers, that they must have to understand it, because there are a number of people who are watching this program today, and they go on social media as well, and you know there is a different kind of lobbies on social media, on Twitter and on other side by side which we see. we actually come across so many times that Pakistan is also, not only the Pakistan, eventually so many countries are facing this issue in the whole world, that we face this negative propagandas by the, as I said, by the Indian medias, by the West medias, because they have their own interest in the whole world and they want to work with that, and they always want to diffuse the betterment and the better things which we always create and bring in forth or in front. So how do you see it, Excellency? And especially if we talk about CPEC, we talk about this latest incident or episode of Afghanistan and bringing the peace and stability in the region, and so far if we talk about the other things as well, how do you see this propagandas which are actually augmenting these days?
Well, that the relations between China and Pakistan are very special, and these relations, as you mentioned at the beginning, that is traced back hundreds of years. Okay, and especially after Pakistan came into existence in 1948, and China became the new independent country in 1949, and we have been together, fighting together, living together, help each other. So this is a special relation, and we have been carried out a lot of cooperations in all the fields, and it's benefiting both sides. Of course, as far as bilateral relations concerned, outsiders or other countries, they have their perceptions or misperceptions. That is understandable. But to my point, that no matter what happens, no matter what others talking about, or no matter what others do, and Pakistan and China, we should first stick to our original aspirations of develop a very close relations, and this relation is people oriented, and it will bring benefits to the people of both countries. So this is good. This is good. Whenever there's good things, we have to do together. We have to do together, despite what others. The others can't say anything. The others can do anything, but that is their choice. But for us, we have to stick to our original aspiration, and we have to this all-weather strategic partnership has been strengthened through all the years, and now we are trying to build a shared future between Pakistan and China.
Yes, inshallah.
So this is our common future. So that is number one, and number two, that we should work together and to promote the cooperations.
Right. Excellency, please comment on it as well. How do you see when we've interviewed you last time, and this incident happened that India has put down the lockdown in occupied Jammu and Kashmir in territory, and still it's going on. How do you see that lockdown, which has been brutally imposed by India on occupied Jammu and Kashmir?
We always think that India and Pakistan are neighboring countries. Okay. We always say that you can choose friends, but you can never choose neighbors. Neighbors will be here forever. So we think that for neighboring countries, we should help each other, coordinate with each other, and to find ways to deal with the common challenges. Okay, and stability and peace of this region benefits everybody, benefits every country. So we call upon all the countries in the region. Let's come up with a common strategy to safeguard the peace and the stability, and fight together to face the challenges and difficulties, and to as I mentioned many times, that the common task of every government in this region is to improve the livelihood of the people of every country. So in order to face this, in order to accomplish this task, we have to work together, and first we have peace, then we have stability, then we have development. That is the experience we learned from the past, few decades when the new China was founded. Political stability is the precondition for economic development. So that this peace and stability is always the championship to further promote these relations in this region. Yeah.
Right. One side we see that this India has imposed this lockdown in the occupied Jammu and Kashmir. On the another hand, we have seen there was some disputes on the Ladakh as well, in the Ladakh episode whole, and India had done the violation of LOC as well over there as well. How do you see that the role of India in this all scenario?
Well, I think our position is that the relevant issues shall be solved through the bilateral negotiations, and based on the bilateral accord, and also the international resolutions, and through this way that we can see peace and stability be prevailed and secured.
Alright, sure. नाज़रीन, गुफ्तगू का सिलसिला जारी है. एक ब्रेक की तरफ मुझे जाने का बार-बार कहा जा रहा है जी, तो मैंने एक कमर्शियल ब्रेक की तरफ जाना है. We'll be right back after it. Stay tuned. वेलकम बैक नाज़रीन, गुफ्तगू का सिलसिला जारी है जी. आज मौजूद है हमारे साथ पाकिस्तान में कराची के अंदर चाइनीज कौंसल जनरल जो कि तैनात है मिस्टर ली बेजान, उनसे गुफ्तगू कर रहे हैं. मूविंग टुवर्ड्स देम, एक्सीलेंसी, recently you've seen that US has called a democracy summit and they've invited so many countries in it, and Pakistan was also invited into it, but as we have seen that China was not been invited, and Pakistan has refused to go into it. You've seen the government side stance categorically, and especially the Prime Minister who has given the statement on it very categorically that Pakistan will not be part of any Cold War. This was his statement, which was, been headlines in all international media's agencies and TV channels. How do you see this move of Pakistan, especially?
Okay, personally speaking, that I appreciate the stand taken by your federal government on this specific issue, and of course, the decision made by the government has its reasons. And this is your internal affairs, and I'm not ready to make comments on it. But personally speaking, I appreciate very much. And secondly, I want to tell the audience that Pakistan and China, being the sovereign states, we have been working very hard to defend the democracy, human rights. Okay, human beings are born to make error, and we are not perfect, and no country in the world or no system in the world may be proclaimed that they are perfect. Okay, any country, any system has the room, have a space to improve, to further improve. But we are happy to see that through all these years, since the independence from 1948 by Pakistan and 1949 by China, and both countries has tremendous efforts to improve our economy, to bring stability to our two countries, and to improve the livelihood our two peoples. So what we have done and what we have been doing are just protect the interests of the common people. So in this mean that we are trying to defend democracy and also the interests of the people.
All right.
And thirdly, I want to say that we're talking about democracy. Democracy represents the intention, the interests of most majority of the people, of the population. Okay, and anything you do it for the people, and anything that you do, you have to deliver deliver and to satisfy the demands of the people.
Right.
I think that we have, looking back, that what happened in Pakistan and China, both governments has been trying hard, through all these years. We have been doing that. We have been doing that. As far as China's case is concerned, by now that in the past consecutive years, the Chinese government and especially the Communist Party of China has been won over the support more than 95% by 1.4 billion population. That is the most majority of the people gave the support, gave the votes to the ruling party to make government. That is democracy. That is democracy. If any system, just supporting minority, a small number of people's interests, we cannot call it democracy. And fourthly, I think that in this planet, we have so many governments, so many peoples, and so many states, and so many political systems. Okay, and the definition and democracy is different.
Right.
Okay, there are different meanings, different definitions of democracy, and of course there are different interpretations of how the democracy is carried out. Yeah, so we should respect this choice. The democracy is always the people. Okay, we should support and respect the choice of the people of the individual countries.
Right.
Okay, we should respect. We should allow the people in the world to choose their own model of development. And lastly, I want to make it clear that we are living the same planet. Okay, this is globalized world. We only have one Earth in this universe. Okay, this is our own common family, common home. So no matter you have different political systems, you have different understandings, you have misperceptions on each other, different ideology. But we should work. We should work together, cooperate. Okay, help each other, and to make this planet even better for us to live together.
Right.
We should take common actions to protect the common interest of the human beings.
That is a good approach. I would like to ask one more thing. As we've seen that Europe is changing their economical policies these days, there is also issue which has been highlighted so much, that Europe is the European countries are changing their economical policies in terms of the trading and all those things. How the China will be able to manage and deal with this economical influence globally?
Okay, European countries are our very close development partners, and we have a very robust and everlasting relations between China and the European countries. And through the years that both sides benefit a lot through the common development. China learned a lot from EU countries, because all the countries in EU bloc, they are developed countries. They have the skills, they have the technology, they have the know-hows, and we should learn from. They have so many advantages and strong points. We're trying to learn from them. And of course, China is being the largest developing country and the largest market in the world. And European countries has been benefiting a lot from carry out cooperation with China through the years. So I think that is a win-win cooperation, and the benefits to both sides. And of course, China is ready to work together with EU countries to further promote this cooperation, despite of the changes of the situation, despite of the pandemic, and even though that we have challenges, we have difficulties, and we have disagreements on some issues. But I think the platform is there. The cooperation, we have so many mechanisms for cooperation with EU countries, and even we can touch upon every field, like human rights and like protection of minority rights, no problem. We can talk on that, and we can share views first, and then help each other.
All right. One last question, Excellency. As the time is now been ended up, as we've seen that since 2 years we have seen this pandemic of corona, COVID-19, which we called upon, and the COVID is changing its position, its name, and its species and everything. So we've seen that the Omicron has now come up. This is one of the type of the COVID coronavirus. So Omicron's first case has been reported in different countries. How do you see and what measures you advise people to take in this regard?
Okay, when we're talking about pandemic, and first of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude and thanks to the federal and provincial governments for the remarkable and wonderful efforts and contributions made to control the pandemic. I think Pakistan, has showed to the world the example of how to put the pandemic under control. And from the very beginning, your government has been, exerting the smart locking down. That's very effective.
Yes.
And I think that right now, all the countries across the world, they are learned from Pakistan.
Yes.
They are learned from you.
They learned.
And secondly, from the very beginning, we have been helping each other. No matter that we have been providing PPEs, and also right now we are providing vaccines, and this is mutual, the two-way of cooperation, and we benefited a lot, and we help each other, and to tackle the karma issue and karma difficulty. And thirdly, you see the pandemic. The pandemic is the new threat to the whole humanity, whole human being, and we don't know actually how many variants will come.
Variants,
we don't know. That is an unanswered question. But if we can join hands and find make concerted efforts and move in solidarity and
do you see Omicron is a real threat for
if we work in unity and solidarity, we can tackle any issue, any challenges.
Right.
And as far as Omicron is concerned, Omicron at the beginning, because this is the new variant,
right,
and the mutations is doubles, 15 times more than the Delta variant. So at the beginning, that is the experts, because they don't have research and on that. So maybe that the focus of the Omicron is so dangerous, is very dangerous to the whole humanity. But later on, after the in-depth studies by experts across the world, including China, US, and experts in South Africa, because the first Omicron was tested in South Africa. And the experts come to a conclusion. Number one, Omicron, yes, it is very transmissible, and it can transmit very quickly, and may infect a lot of people. And that is fact number one. Number two, that Omicron may make the vaccines less effective. The efficacy may lose if human beings were infected with this variant. That's number second. And thirdly, the experts has been telling us after the research that Omicron is not that fatal as we expected. Yeah.
Right.
Up to now, the only death report is from UK. UK found the first death reported case.
Right.
Yeah. And fourthly, that Omicron will not bring serious symptoms.
Right.
Like we expected. So if you put all this together, I don't think that Omicron is such a big threat to us, because after nearly 2 years of fighting together to deal with the pandemic. I think the countries in the world, especially experts, they find the ways how to deal with this pandemic.
Right.
Now we have the vaccines, okay, and the experts keeping, the audience, keeping, the people across the world, please, inject vaccines.
Vaccines and the boosters as well, or the dosage as well.
Boosters.
Okay,
right. In this way that we can, better to deal with the variant.
Right.
Yeah.
One last comment, Excellency, please. On as you know that 25th December is the birthday of our beloved founder of Pakistan, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. One last comment I would like you to please do on it.
Okay, you see, we really grateful for his contribution to this to Pakistan, our brotherly country. And with his efforts and his contribution, Pakistan come a long way and now become one of the most developed democracy and very important economy in the world. And we're really grateful of him. And I hope that, based on his contribution and efforts, all Pakistani brothers and sisters may come up together and fight together and join hands for a better and a bright future.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Excellency. Thank you so much for your precious time.
I want to, Good Hafiz and China Park. दोस्ती
जिंदाबाद। नाजरीन, इसी के साथ अपनी मेजबान रिदा सैफी को दीजिए इजाजत। पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद।